Hi, this is Kerry with Learn Davinci Resolve, and today we have a very cool unboxing to do here. This is something I have wanted for quite a while, been watching it from Kickstarter on through production, and I just couldn't bring myself to get it because of the price point. This is a slider, and I have wanted a good slider for years, but I just couldn't bring myself to spend the kind of money to get a good one. Now, I've tried manual sliders, and unless you have a really high-end one with a big flywheel so that it will buffer out your movements, I can't get it to be smooth. I know plenty of people who just nail it time after time, and that's just not me. I can't do it. I need a motorized slider. But as soon as you start talking motorized slider, you start talking four figures, 1,500 bucks, pretty easily for a good one. So when this guy came out, the price point was much closer and I wanted to save up for it, but Black Friday came around and bit me good. Let's take a look at what we have here. So I'm going to put it on the ground to pull everything out of here. The Rhino RŌV Pro Traveler. This is the large size. This is the 18-inch motorized slider from Rhino. I'm very excited to finally get my hands on this. For Black Friday, it was a huge sale, almost 30% off. Could not pass it up. And what did I get for that? Well, I have the slider unit. I have the ROV tripod. I have the Traveler backpack. And let's see. We have the ROV microphone. And I think that is everything that's here in the package. Normally this is $699, which is a steal for a motorized slider. But on Black Friday, it was 27% off. Could not pass it up. The microphone, don't know if I'll use the microphone, but I'm going to give it a try, see how it compares to the Rode Video Micro that I'm using now, or some of the other microphones I have. The tripod, didn't really need another set of legs specific for using on the slider, but you know, it was bundled with it for the price. And I really wanted the backpack, which was another $80. So it was well worth it. So let's crack this thing up, well, crack this thing open and take a look what you get for the price. And all right, doesn't seem to be anything there in the top, and it all is right here. So we'll take this out, and wow, this quality feels really nice. This is basically one large piece of aluminum. Very good feel to it. Not getting anything on the battery, so it's going to have to get some charge on it. And you have these legs that pop down somehow. I'll have to see if it's a button push or something on here. Oh, there we go. Unlatch them, and the legs come down. And my table is too small to put it on. Underneath here, let's see what else we've got. So it does come with a mount, so you can put your smartphone on it, and the app will control everything. Part of the extra bundle that I got included a variable ND filter kit for smartphone. So wasn't planning on using my iPhone for any of this, but maybe we will. And then here's the ball head for mounting the camera. And let's see, we have a USB cable. So pretty complete package with the slider, the ball head, and a phone mount. I think that is super, super cool. Nothing else is in here, so that's pretty much good to go. I'm going to put this down here on the floor. And on the bottom here, we have a 1/4-20 and a 3/8 inch to mount it on either tripods or light stands or whatever you want. And then the belt drive for the slider itself. And here's a little magnet for something. I'll figure that out. I'm going to have to actually probably do a little manual reading here. And I want to take a look at these tripod legs. See if they're actually any good. Well, that's nice. They come in their own bag. These are nice. ROV tripod. It has a 3/8 head on it, so it'll go on the large size there. And these probably aren't the most robust tripod legs that you can get, but they definitely seem sturdy enough. The latching mechanism seems pretty strong. My plan is to normally use this on my large Vanguard tripod because it is very heavy duty and I'm not going to be too concerned about weight, but we'll have to see how these do. So let's get this thing charged up and see how it works. So I've got the slider on the charger. The battery is completely dead, so it's going to take a little bit to get that thing charged up and ready to play with. In the meantime, I opened up the other box with the microphone in it, and surprisingly enough, it's in a nice little semi-hard case. So I think this is actually going to turn out to be a nice little surprise. So open this thing up, and we have the microphone, a foam cover, a really nice base here, and looks like some accessories. So let's see what we have. So we've got a dead kitty. We have some different cables here. This looks like a TRS and TRRS or TRSS cable. So it should work with a camera, a preamp, a smartphone, pretty much anything this thing should work with. And then let's take a look at the mount itself here. So it's flexible, so feels like some kind of nylon. It's not metal, it's not a plasticky, but it feels more like some type of nylon. So it looks like it's going to hold up. The microphone itself is, I mean, a very, very robust feel. It's metal. It's got a good feel to it. And we'll see if we can figure out how to put this stuff together here. So there we go. And we'll put a little foamy on it. And we've got ourselves a nice little microphone. So we'll definitely be trying this thing out and seeing how it compares to other microphones. Now, it's unpowered, so that'll be interesting, where pretty much all of my mics, except for my lavalier mic, are all self-powered. This is not powered, so it will be interesting to see the type of quality I get out of this. Now, it may be that to get best results, I may need to use a preamp, and I normally use this Tascam DR600 Mark II. It's one of my favorite preamp recorders. Got this on sale on eBay for like $100. They typically go for, I think, $175 or so. Phenomenal recorder with fantastic quality on it. So this will work really well with this in terms of getting additional boost and sound out of it and doing recording on the fly. But I also want to see how this works directly connected to my A7 III. So we'll definitely be trying that out as we get going with this full review. So stay tuned and we'll get this thing charged up and do some test shots with it. So the ROV is still charging. It is a big battery, and apparently it's going to take a little while to charge this thing. I have it on a 2 amp charger, and it's now on the second LED. So it's not going as quickly as I would like, but this right here is being recorded with the Rhino microphone. So before, and so you can tell the difference, before I was using a Sennheiser MKE 400, and now this is with the Rhino microphone. So needed to adjust some settings in the camera. It's a very hot mic, so I had to tone it down a little bit. So let's see how this sounds. Okay, so we've got the slider. It took a long time for this thing to charge. It's a very big battery, and mine was completely dead when it got here, so it took a few hours for it to charge the first time. And after that, it's been fantastic. We were out last night in temperatures below 30 degrees for over 2 hours. This morning, I ran it for about an hour. Now that's not constant back and forth. It's having it on, it's setting up a shot, it's doing the next thing. It wasn't turning it off between shots. It stayed on the entire time, and we did a bunch of shots. And it is still showing 5 LEDs full charge. So the battery life on this thing is going to be fantastic. I'm not worried about that at all. So I'm not thinking I need to, ask about how do I charge this thing on the road, or do I have batteries, or now this thing's going to last an entire day, no problem. So not worried about that. As some other reviewers have said, the downside is you can't really use it as a slider. It's got too much resistance. You'd never be smooth with it. So it's a motorized slider, period. That's it. To me, not an issue. I'm not good at the manual ones, so this was perfect. A couple little things that kind of annoyances to me is I don't know if I did it again, the reason I got this particular package was from Black Friday, so it was a steal, and I got it with the backpack and the tripod and the microphone, a few accessories, for less than or right about what I wanted to pay just for the slider itself. So I'm not going to complain about what I paid for it. It was a great price. But let's talk about the accessories. The main one is going to be the tripod, and it's tripod legs. It's not a full working tripod. It's just the legs, and while that's okay for a lot of situations, where you're going to run into challenges, I would say, are if you run a bigger camera on it. So the A7 III just didn't quite feel as sturdy as I would like on it, especially in the conditions we were. So it's very easy for this thing to move. It's not the sturdiest tripod, but if you're using a small camera or if you have your phone on it, then that's not a problem. What you do need to do is get yourself some kind of ball head or adjustable mount, because as it comes, you can go straight and level. If you want to tilt this thing up, there's no way to do this. Sure, you could say, well, you can just adjust the legs. No, you can't, because my slider doesn't line up with any way that would work. So that is not an option in my case. Maybe it is, it's all manufacturing tolerances, but in my case I can't do that. It would tilt off at some weird angle. So I had it on a much more robust tripod with a Manfrotto grip handle on it, and I'm able to move it around and adjust it and get different angles and pitches and things the way I wanted to. And so that is a biggie. You're going to want a better tripod set of legs and a good adjustable grip, and you want to make sure that there's no play in there, because if you have any play in the tripod, when it gets to the end, it's going to tilt one way or the other. So you got to have a very sturdy tripod. On the hardware side, that's really the only issue, is you just need some way of adjusting this thing. The microphone, I'm using the microphone right now. It's fantastic. It works. Had to tone down my inputs on my camera. Other than that, microphone, great addition. Software wise, the software is very, very easy to use. Let's turn this on. You just hold it down until it starts moving. Okay, now it's at the end, and we can go to the app and go connect The bottom one is if I have my phone on here, because then it's a full camera setup. What is my duration to go from one end to the other, and how fast do I want it to ramp up to that? So the downside to this is I have to use the full length of the slider, and I went with the larger 18-inch. If I only want to do a 3-inch movement or 4-inch movement, 5-inch movement, I can't do it. I have to set it up so it uses the entire length of the slider, and then just edit it out. And sometimes if it's way back and you're trying to do a straight pull-in, you can see the end of the slider until it's up close. And so there's little nuances that could be changed with simple start point and end points in the app, which I think would be fantastic. Other than that, we just set the duration. So I'll do the minimum, which is 15 seconds with a 50% ramp, hit start, and off it goes. Now see if you can hear it. It's very clear to me, the sound coming from this thing. And if I had the microphone on the camera, you would absolutely hear the sound of the slider. Now, moving the microphone away, sure, you may be able to eliminate that. But if you have your microphone on the camera, you're going to pick up the noise from this thing. It's not that quiet. It's not that loud, but it's not silent by any stretch. The other downside with the software is when you have your phone mounted on here, where with a camera, I have my duration and my ramping, but if I have just my phone on here, then my only control is slow, medium, and fast. And those are the only options I have. I don't have, how long I want it to go from one side to the other and what my ramp speed is. I don't have the same controls. It's much more limited when just using your phone. I will say, though, that using the phone is very easy. You set up the shot, hit record, off it goes. One thing I would recommend when you are using your phone on here is there's an option in the camera app to set a delay. And so, of course, you're touching it to start and stop, you're causing a wobble. So what I do is I set it for a 2-second delay so I could touch it, release, count down, and then not have to worry about any jitters from me touching the camera to start. What would be very nice for both camera use and smartphone use would be some kind of remote. Don't know if they can do that or if there's another app I can install. Apple Watch app. That'd be sweet. Start. Just saying, guys. If you're listening, I'm a nobody out there, but if you're listening, boom, start. Awesome. All right. So, is this a good purchase? Yes, absolutely. Considering that any other motorized slider is going to cost at least double, if not triple, the amount to get something that works as well as this. If you want it to be both a manual slider and a motorized slider, this is not the purchase for you. This is a motorized slider. Whatever. I knew what it was going in, so not a disappointment. But you want something that's easy to set up, easy to take around with you, that's going to get you good professional results and improve the quality of your filmmaking. Well, the Rhino RŌV Pro. There's no question. It's a good buy. So this has been Kerry. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos on Resolve and Fusion and some hardware reviews to help you with your filmmaking. I hope you enjoy these. Let me know in the comments below. Be sure and subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified whenever we put out new videos. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.